In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a vignette inside of Adobe Premiere Pro. So let's get into it. So once you're inside of Adobe Premiere Pro and you've got some footage on your timeline, we first just want to begin by creating a brand new black video. So you go down to the new item button on the bottom left and scroll up to black video and then just press OK. If for some reason though you can't see the new item button, then just go into your project tab, double click or right click and go to new item, black video. And that would do exactly the same as going to the new item button. Now from here, just drag that black video onto video layer 2. Make sure your footage is living on video layer 1. And then we'll just pull the duration of this black video over to match the same duration as the footage. Now we'll go into the tab on the left. So we've got the effect controls tab, go down to motion, opacity, and you can see we've got this ellipse mask tool. So select that and that will create a black circle in the middle of your video. Now we'll just expand this black video out so that it fills the screen. You want to make sure that it's almost touching the edges, but it's not quite, it's just shy of the edges. And then in mask 1, as you can see on the left, you want to go to inverted, and that will invert that. And now we've got more of a vignette effect taking place. Then you want to go into mask feather and increase the feathering all the way up to a higher number. So at the moment I've got that set to around 400, and that is starting to take place. That's starting to look great. Of course, you don't have to have 400. You could have a smaller number and you will have a more distinct vignette. So you'll really see that vignette effect. And of course, if you change the position of the mask as well, you change the size of that with that lower feather number, you're really going to see that vignette effect taking place. But I personally don't like to see the edges of the vignette. I like to have that a little bit higher. So I want that to be a bit more seamless. So you can see it creeping in on the edges, but it's not super obvious. And then of course, if you wanted to increase the size of this, you can either adjust those points that you just created. So you can move these points over, or you can go into mask expansion and just increase the expansion ever so slightly. So increasing it is going to increase the size of this, and decreasing it is obviously going to decrease the size of the vignette. So that is how you build the shape of the vignette. And if you wanted a black vignette, then essentially you're now done. But if you wanted to change the color of this to a white vignette, then you would want to go into effects, search for tint, so that is T-I-N-T, drop the tint effect on your black video. Then we'll go into map black to and change the black to white. Press OK. And there you go. You can see we've got this white vignette. Although the thing is, you can really see that feathering even more on a white vignette versus a black vignette. So I'm going to go back into the mask 1. I'm going to pull the feathering down a touch. I'm going to pull the expansion back to 0. And then I'm just going to adjust the size of this mask just to touch the edges of the screen a bit more. We'll increase the mask expansion, and then we'll just pull the opacity of this down just a little bit. And as you can see, you've now got this really nice subtle white vignette effect. Of course, though, you don't just have to change this to white. You can change the matte black to any color. So we can have a yellow vignette if that's what you fancy. You can have a blue vignette. It's completely up to you. Of course, you can apply this same technique to effects as well. So let's do an adjustment layer. So we'll go project. We'll go new item and go adjustment layer. Press OK on this. Drag the adjustment layer over onto video layer 3. And again, we'll extend the duration over to the right. Now we're just going to delete the black video. So we'll get rid of that vignette. Go to the adjustment layer. Go to the create ellipse mask again. We'll follow all the same processes. So we'll expand this. We'll then go ahead and increase the mask feather to around 300 or 400. Select inverted, and at the moment you can't see anything, and that's because there's no effects on the adjustment layer. So let's go into effects, and we're going to search for blur. So we'll go into blur, and you've got all of these different blurs. I'm going to go for a Gaussian blur. We'll drop the Gaussian blur on the adjustment layer. We'll increase the blurriness on the Gaussian blur all the way up to around 40% or so. Make sure the blur dimensions are horizontal and vertical. And then you want to make sure you select repeat edge pixels. If you don't press that, you'll see the edges of the video is starting to blur and you're getting this black border appear. So if we just repeat the edge pixels, it cleans that up and gets rid of that ugliness. So as you can see, we've now created a blurry vignette rather than having a black vignette or a white vignette. And of course, it's not just the blur that you can add to the adjustment layer. You can add color correction controls. So let's add some RGB curves onto that. So we can pull the highlights down. We can pull the reds down, increase the blues, pull the greens down. Obviously, this looks horrendous, but you can see it's just affecting the edge of the video. It's just creating that vignette. But there you go. That is the basics of how you create a vignette inside of Adobe Premiere Pro using a black video and using an adjustment layer so that you can use different effects on your vignette. So there you go. Thank you ever so much for watching this video. I really do hope you enjoyed it and found it helpful. And if you did, then hopefully I will see you on the next video. See you there.